Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Art. If you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Ski, an artist here on YouTube who makes realistic looking portraits in traditional and digital mediums. So in this video I'm going to show you how I make a similar looking sketch like the one on the screen. This one is of Jennifer Lawrence from the movie Hunger Games, in which she played the character of Mockingjay of Katniss Everdeen. In the background you can see I used mostly pencil colors, and for this sketch I have used shades of black and red ink, and for the coloring part I have used pencil colors. So this is my most favorite medium. I use for the cheeks red colors, for the shadows I use a little bit of black, and for hair I used black for the background, and for her dress I used black ink, and for making her skin and her body I used a little bit of red ink along with her feather looking shoulder frills. I used red ink for that, and I will show you in this video how I make a similar looking sketch to this one. The first few things that you want to keep in mind while making a sketch similar to this is, firstly, you should look for a reference that has similar shades of ink. Like I chose this one. A little about the reference that I have chosen. This reference is from the TV show called The Office, and the character that I'm making is Michael Scott, who's playing the role of Michael Scarn in his own movie Threat Level Midnight. And this is basically an action scene that I'm drawing. So for this one I'm not going to be drawing the backgrounds in pencil colors, or basically I'm not going to use a lot of pencil colors because I'm just going to show how I make an ink sketch, like a time-lapse video of it. So let's get started with the outline part of this sketch. For the outline part of this sketch I'm going to use freehand drawing. Normally I would go for grid for great accuracy, but since this is just a small piece of sketch that I'm doing, I think it would be better that I go with freehand. So you may skip forward if you don't want to see the entire time lapse of the outline video, and then I'll see you in the next bit. So this is the final sketch that I have made, and now before I begin shading I'm going to take a rough piece of paper and I'm going to take a few ink pens of red and black inks, and I'm going to check the fluidity of the ink, and basically I'm going to make a few warm-up strokes to get into the rhythm of the shading. This is important because you need to assess the pressure and the lightness and the speed with which you're going to shade. So first make sure that you make a few experimental set of strokes in different directions. Some may be horizontal, some may be vertical, some may be circular in motion and in direction. And so once you do that, then feel free to take the shading process onto your actual sketch. Make sure that you do it with all of the pens that you're going to use, and that you have properly tested out all of the tools that you're using. Normally what I have found is that ball pens, they tend to leak a lot, but this particular one that I'm using is from Salo Butterflow ink. This one in particular, it works really smooth, and if you use this one or a similar kind of pen for your ink sketches, it's not going to leak. So I think using this one for the face area is going to be pretty safe, and other ones, if they tend to leak, you may use it for areas like dresses or hair, in which you don't need to be so careful with the shading. So let's get started with the shading of the face area and the rest of the sketch. For this part of the time lapse, I made a big recording mistake. I actually didn't record the time-lapse version and I was recording on a normal setting, and for this part my hand is going to look like it's moving really fast, like, yeah, so just bear with it, and hopefully you'll see a better time-lapse in the next part. So as you can see from the time lapse, I have first worked on lighter areas and I have left the highlights as it is, and for the darker shades I'm going for the second layer of these similar sets of strokes, and the more layers you build on, the darker it will show. So after making the red ink for the face, I have moved on to black for the hair part and for adding additional shadows which appear a little more darker. And so I'm using it for the cheeks part, for the below the chin area. I'm using it to add further shadows, and once I do that, you'll see in the time-lapse version how I use my red and black ink pens to further shade all of the areas. I hope this does not require explanation and this is pretty much easy to follow. In this part of the video, I made that same rookie mistake again, and I had recorded this one on the normal setting, and this took me around, I think, 4 or 5 minutes of shading, so this time lapse is going to be pretty slowed down, but the next clips are going to be pretty fast, so you may skip ahead if you want. So as you can see from the previous few clips, I have used red ink, black ink, and for the fire shot I have used a bit of orange, and the next part it's going to include a bit of adding more color to the face and adding a little bit more value by using pencil colors, and if I'd like, then I'd add a bit of a background because it looks out of place, just that sketch. So firstly, after you are done making your sketch, and if you're happy with it, before using color pencils, make sure to erase your sketch, and for all the remaining graphite you need to erase that, and then we're going to go ahead using the color pencils for the face area, and I'm going to make that part darker, which is more in shadow. So as you can see, I'm using my eraser to erase all the remaining bits of graphite for the outline that I had done, and once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead with my pencil colors, and I'm going to fill in the gaps which I think might be there. So yeah, I'm done with adding color pencils, or you can even use watercolors or any other medium that you like that would go well with ink, or a simple ink sketch also looks pretty well, pretty decent. So I decide to fill in the gaps using this pencil color. The one that I'm using is of skin color, and depending on the skin tone you may use black or brown or dark brown or whichever shade is the reference. And once you're done with adding the color values, then I think the process becomes easier and the sketch looks more realistic. And I will skip forward to the time lapse part, and I hope you enjoy that part. For the final part of this sketch, I decided to add in a background, for which I used grey pencil color to make a clock. And as you can see, I'm directly going in with the color pencil and not really doing the outline, because this one is going to be a bit lighter than the sketch that is in the front. So randomly I'm just going with the clock, and once I'm done with a little bit of markings of the clock, then I feel that I'm happy with the sketch, and that finishes off my sketch, and you can see till the end. And so this is how my sketch looks in the end, and I hope you liked this entire video. And if you have any questions regarding this video or of the process or anything related to art, you can definitely ask that in the comment box. And you may give me a subscribe if you like this video, and you may also follow me on Instagram for more art related posts and videos, and for additional tutorials and videos, or for additional time-lapse videos. I'll always keep coming back, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then,